it's an early one, I can tell by the Spitfire bonnet. That's the quick way of finding out on a 6Y model, isn't it? That's it. Oh, I'm going to collar this woman here, because she loves me, this lady does. What else do you know about this little Horton then?
Industrial maintenance, used in a paper mill.
See? It's easy. You can talk to me, there's nobody else listening. Made from about 1964 to about 1970, if I remember rightly. Yeah, that's right. It's got a 5.5 litre direct injection diesel engine. They made them in petrol, paraffin and diesel, and an LPG, I think, if I remember rightly. If anybody's that sad like me, they know it's got the winter pack on this, where you can literally plug it up into the mains to keep it warm, if you like, overnight. Because when it goes down to -30, -40 in America, the starter motor can't cope with that cold conditions. So if you plug it in, it's like an electric kettle element in the cylinder head, or cylinder block. That keeps the engine warm overnight. Quite rare to get one of these. It's the first time I saw Joe with this at Belfort a couple of weeks back. You've got rid of your Renault Espace, I've noticed. You're not towing that anymore now. You've got the other half driving it around now, that's alright. Nice to see the big Mini. Back to a little Massey version 35. It's got a little 42 horsepower diesel engine, little Perkins. Massey version of Perkins is about 1969, something like that. Our next year's tractor enthusiast has been, no doubt, dragged around by Dad at the minute, reading tractor machinery book every weekend. I know what it's like, I've been there. Thanks for that. 6-speed gearbox. Then we've got a David Brown. Very rare, these David Browns. Came out after 1949. David Brown started making their own diesel engine, the little Crop Master. They started developing a 6-cylinder version. Got to keep them rolling through, because I'm talking too much to be told. Right, so then we've got E1A Major. This one's in the, literally starting them up. So these are Eco Warrior. Instead of using petrol in his little 6-volt straight petrol Bergie, he's decided not to bother, and his mate's towing him around. Yeah, no problem. Get Carl helps me at Belfort, sorting all the other lads out. Got a Nuffield made in either Birmingham or Oxford. Back to a little Fergie, so the CEF little Fergie. Came out about 1951. Fergie didn't really want to put a diesel engine in their little 20s, so they decided to slide one in up against the little David Brown, basically. Nice to see the little Fergie. They'll keep chugging along, you can get all the bits off the shelf, quite reliable, and once you've got them done, that's it, you'll keep chugging along forever, won't you? Good to see. Then we've got a 2120. This particular one's got a power loader on the front. Ian helped me out a couple of times with the beer tent. The beer tent got stuck, the beer tent lorry got stuck, so we had to help him out, didn't we? We couldn't have the beer tent stuck, so that was top priority. Drop tools, forget coal, get water for steamers, one or two, I think. One or two, just to help us get the ducts down, wasn't it? That was it. Thanks for that, for bringing that. About 1968, something like that. The 2000, like I say, were a Dexter. The 3000 was the Super Dexter. And got a 4-speed gearbox, quite quick on the road. And they still use a lot of these today, aren't they? 4 hours a day cleaning this. You've got to. I saw it was shedded up in your lorry last night. Newman's. Right. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Horizontally opposed, air-cooled petrol engine to a 3-speed gearbox. It's got Aldrich, Scotland hydraulics, either manually on the back or with the hydraulic system which connects to the engine for lifting and lowering. On the 24-inch, it was a standard tractor. You can have all sorts of stuff on the front of these. Very handy, very good. Maybe a little bit too much weight in the back. I've got the front wheels off the floor. Model A. Came out in about 1940. Totally original. Totally absolutely original. Bit of the front hot plate red hot, because it's called a semi-diesel. It won't start up on diesel itself. Well, bobbing around. made in southern France, I think these were, weren't they? Something like that. You like your oddball things, you do, Mark, don't you? I love that tash. I don't know where you got that from, but it looks great. Got a little single for a reversible plough on the back. An hydraulic linkage, and it's like a French vineyard tractor, isn't it?
See you.
Rode Videomic That was the far side of the arena. So the next one, you get down to the out. You can see how the thing was flat on there. This one out. Next, the results will be in about 5 to 10 minutes, please. That would be wonderful. Still going. That's the rundown coming a little bit earlier in about 10 minutes. Thank you. And you see it's Jordan. I think these are the doctors who tell me oh, that's the way to do it. Oh, what time are we on today, Captain? Well, look what. What did you... Be with us. Occasional retrieve, coming forward, anything we've got, paint, no cast off mark at all. We don't put it on. If we do it wrong, there you go, ears going down to the side.
Yeah, really good, you see if you can speed it up.
Did you pull this caravan out? know.
So it's a great way, and I had one of them for sale. 15 quid he got it for. I couldn't rate the 15 quid up to buy it. One back for it. I know they got like lunchtime.
Really got it today.
She's run off again. Where's the bike? Don't answer that. Where's the cycle? Broken it. Did it do any good?
I think so.
He says the wheels are square.
It took her away for half an hour.
Took her away. Oh, dear. The joke on the front booth breweries is a bit of a laugh because Malcolm doesn't drink, but the son drinks that much they can't sell it. So we're in a bit of a fix here. We're still waiting for the first brew. Started growing hops in his back garden, but everybody keeps pinching them in Swanning, and they would. Good afternoon, madam. Have you noticed? Always got the shades on. Keeps the bits out of your eyes. You've had it a while, this one, haven't you? Did you have one before that, or was this the first one?
Before that.
And how long did you have that for?
About 3 years.
So you're used to getting mucky and sooty and smoky and...
Yeah.
She's trying to sell the smell of hot oil, steam and smoke. She's trying to sell it to Avon, but she ain't having much luck at the moment because lumps don't spray out the can. And it was the death nail to these things. So steam started to go very rapidly just after the First World War. It's true, there's very few vehicles around from the First World War because it was nearly all horses, although there were some, and steam. And steam started to go very, very fast. That was the height of steam, only about 60, 70 years. So these wonderful, wonderful engines were laid up. A lot was scrapped, very big engines. You can always tell Americans, and the Europeans were a little bit the same in so much we tended to wrap our engines up. We put casings around the boiler and we made them look nice. The Americans and the Europeans just wanted to be able to get at everything. So there were pipes sticking out here, sticking out there, and this lovely case, nice little engine. Shirley, another Foster, 4-inch. This young man started with a 2-inch, 3-inch. Foden's carried on. Sadly, Foden's now gone. They were taken over by Americans, Western Star, the Woman Gap, and so it goes on and on. But Foden, absolutely wonderful company up there at Sandbach in Cheshire. And this little, beautiful little Holden steam bus, omnibus, what a little beauty. Sentinels always had the vertical boilers, Foden's always had the horizontal boilers. They did make a few ordinary traction engines, but Foden's really excelled in steam lorries. And this young man, again, another case of seeing something that was very, very rare. Very few of these were ever made in full size. It's a Suffolk dredging tractor, is that right? Built to show people what they were like. He's made a miniature Massey Ferguson tractor, he's made a miniature, but last night the family made the best miniature of all. A little boy, 11 o'clock last night. Isambard, or George, or it could be as simple as James, I'm told. So we've got a true miniature Riley, and the thought of 3 generations absolutely dreads me. But, come on guys, this is a bit special. I want a good one for the Riley family. And if you're listening through, Paul and all the family, we wish you all the best. Are you ready then? After 3. 1, 2. You know, if I told you what his missus said about him, that's about right. Are you ready again? 1, 2, 3. Have you done? So come on, let's have a quick lap round the arena. I thought it was going to be called Old Mother Riley or Kitty or something like that. Let's have a quick tour around, let the good people see what you've got. And then we're going to be starting something a bit special with big steam engines. We're going to have quite a lot of them. So I think, folks, in a few minutes we need to clear this bottom gate hole, because we're bringing steam engines in from both sides. Okay? Let's get this load of scrap out the arena. Just like a herd of cows, they tell you should always stand still and they'll miss you. Absolutely wonderful crowd, folks. And this one here, he's going to run me over if he can. Are you alright, young man? It's time you got your brother to wash that. You tell him. And tell him it's got a flat tyre at the back. What's pumping up, like him? Cheers, bless you. And get one of these engines to pull it, wouldn't you? Don't you think they ought to do that? No. And if you want a nice steam engine, folks, this little baby's for sale. It's an absolute beauty. Alright, young man? All the way from sunny Scunny. Scunthorpe. Beautiful little engine. Oh dear. If anybody knows how to boil a kettle, it's this young man, because he's been into steam. He was George Stephenson's apprentice. You better give me a shout. Bless you, Pete.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do the grand parade of the big steamers. We're going to have them all into the arena. So right now, following on behind, we have a big Fowler Showman's engine. Fowler's built their engines at Leeds. And Elvaston is one of those rallies where we've got an engine that's never been to a rally before, and we've got the next two coming around the arena. They're numbered consecutively, 15652 and 15653. Not many times over a summer it happens that the two engines together, but the first one coming round is Renown, owned by Ian and Gary Howard. It was acquired and restored in 1979 by Ian and Gary, and it had to have a further rebuild after a disastrous fire at Kirkharton where they lived in 2003. Following on behind, we have the second of the John Murphy engines. This This one's called Repulse. Obviously it was built in 1920. It's the works number of 15652. The current owner of this machine is Terry Gibson of Greaston, Derbyshire. He acquired Repulse on the 13th of December 1983, he tells me. The one you see with John Murphy's Scenic Gondola Switchback on tour on the canopy top. Right, the steamroller following on behind the little Garrett steam tractor here is an ex-Leicestershire County Council machine, as you can see from the legend on the canopy top. It's a 1925 Marshall roller. Marshall's built their machines at Gainsborough in Lincolnshire. This one went new to Castle Donington Rural District Council, which is not too far from here. It was transferred to Leicestershire County Council in 1939 and it worked from their Croft depot. It was retired in 1961. It was first preserved by one of our old early preservationists, Tim Sage of Leicester, and it's now with David Hurley and family who come from Lincolnshire. This one has the works number of 78572. Rural District Council is the legend on the canopy of the next machine, which is also built by Marshalls at Gainsborough. 82842 is the number. It was built in 1927 and it went new to Gore Rural District Council, with whom she stayed until 1958. Then it went to John and Roger Reynolds of Tickhill, Doncaster for contract work. It came into Derbyshire in Alf Baker's ownership in 1970. And it's been with the current owner, Cliff Rogers, for over 40 years, and during that time it's had a complete rebuild. One of our well-known preservationists, Ted Ainsworth, discovered this particular roller derelict and started to restore it. Unfortunately, Ted passed away and the restoration was finished off by Ian Brackenbury. And it was acquired earlier this year by Alex Baker of Ripley. So that's the green Fowler steamroller, which is just passing the JCB diggers at the minute. Following on behind the Evelyn roller, we have a Fowler traction engine. This one was built in 1908. It was actually exported to Australia. During the 1940s, the firebox failed, and it was returned to this country in 1995. And it was acquired and restored from derelict by the current owner, Andrew Biglands from Colaston near Sheffield. It has the works number of 11700. So that's the black Fowler engine just coming up towards the commentary point. Now, following behind the black Fowler, which has just decided to stop in front of the commentary point, but we're away again. Oh, you're letting the steamroller in, are you? Very good. Right, yeah. I should look a bit further in front, shouldn't I really, but... Right, following on behind the Fowler, we have a faster type of steam vehicle this time. This is a Sentinel steam tractor, and it's thought to be unique in that it is the only two-speed form to survive. This one went new to a gold mine in Australia, and it was returned to this country by Dave Maris of Dronfield in Derbyshire. And it's been thoroughly restored. It was built at Shrewsbury in 1926. It has the works number of 64246. So that's the Sentinel steam tractor that you can see. It says Breakfast Creek Gold Mining Company on it. I think that's Dave's address, really. Right, following on, we have an Evelyn and Porter steam roller of 1922. This one has the works number of 10237. This one went new to Edison's of Dorchester. The early history of this particular engine is rather vague. Prior to it being purchased by the present owner, Brian Boucher, he acquired it in 2003, and we think the last owners of this one were Gleason's in Sheffield. It's been completely rebuilt by Brian, and the restoration has included a new firebox, and it travels regularly on the road to events. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it travelled to Dumfries on the road. This particular steam roller was saved for preservation by one of our early preservationists, Monty Thackeray, in Yorkshire. Now we have the second engine belonging to Richard and Phil Jess. This is a 1921 built D5 type Fowler road locomotive. It was first used by Fowlers as a yard engine and demonstrator. Sold in 1924 to an Mr. Ellis Jones of Newtown in Wales. Came into preservation in 1958. It was acquired by the present owners in 2004 and has been fully restored. Right, we've got a Wallace and Stevens steamroller called Chichester. The green one is owned by Dave Crampton and family from Derbyshire, as it tells you on the canopy top. This one was built in 1936 by Wallace and Stevens at their Basingstoke works, and it was used by Chichester Corporation, who sold it back to Wallace and Stevens in 1959 for a diesel-powered roller. It's had various owners in preservation, and it's been with the Dave Crampton and family for a number of years. This one, like the example behind it, has got a twin duplex quartered crank which allows it to quick reverse. There we are, we're just going to get a quick reverse with the green steamroller there. We'll tell you more about that as we get on. Now we have Barry and Mary Johnson from Kegworth. They own this 1923 built Wallace and Stevens. This is a 6-ton roller, 7784 is the works number. This one went new to Woodhams of Catford, London, later passing to Worksworth Quarries of Cambridge. It stood unused and unrestored in Tom Paisley's yard at Holywell, Huntingdon. And at Tom Paisley's dispersal sale in 1980, it was acquired by Barry and Mary. It's on its second season of a return to steam rally, and after a complete rebuild, which has seen a new boiler barrel and quite a number of other jobs carried out on it. First went into preservation with Windsor Newport, a further owner being Jeff Peach in the West Midlands. It's been a regular attendant at events not only in the East Midlands, but it had a year away in Norfolk and Suffolk a few years back. Now just on the outside of that we have a Marshall traction engine. That's the red engine, and this one was sold new in 1911 to an agricultural college at Ruthin in North Wales. It has the works number of 56125 and is owned by Richard Greenwood of Barton-under-Needwood in Staffordshire. After working for a short time in North Wales, it moved to Shropshire and then to the West Midlands. It's been with the present owner since 2005. Yeah. Keep it going. That's easy. Right. Just passing the commentary point, we have a Marshall traction engine owned by Robin Battersby and Phil Steer of Glossop in Derbyshire. This 1906 Marshall, works number 46276, went new to a Mr Wilson in Hampshire via Marshall's agents Thurlows of Stowmarket in Suffolk, at a cost at that time of £493. It passed to a Mr Wright also in Hampshire, and then it was requisitioned in 1943 by the War Department, the Hampshire Agricultural Executive Committee. It's been with the present owners since 1994, and as with most of these machines, it's been completely rebuilt. That's the brightly coloured Marshall traction engine per. Now we have our steam organisers steam roller. This is a Peter and Emma Jacobs from Swadlincote own this Avon and Barford roller that was built in 1943. It went new to Baines of Botton in Bedfordshire. In 1946 this firm amalgamated with Edison's, and in the 1960s this roller finished up in a children's playground at Liverpool Hospital. Now during that time it was painted with all faces, it was yellow coloured. It was rescued from the Liverpool Hospital by Phil Helliwell from North Derbyshire. Phil never did nothing with it, and then it was purchased by John Wood of Wineswold in Leicestershire. John really didn't do anything with it, the faces were still on it, and we had it exhibited at one of our Kegworth rallies as it was found from the hospital. But anyway, Peter and Emma purchased it, and they completed the restoration as to how it would have been years ago. Right, just coming up to the commentary point, we have Lisa, which is an Avon and Porter steamroller, built in 1892. The early history of this particular machine is rather cloudy. It's got the works number of 2957, and it's thought to have gone new to the Belper local board in Derbyshire. It was rallied for many years by road rollers of Thurmaston in Leicestershire before it passed to John Ketteringham of Wineswold in Leicestershire. When John died, he bequeathed it to the present owners, Amber Valley Council, for whom the gentleman driving it, John Cook, takes the roller out for. Now we have two very large ploughing engines coming by the commentary point now. The first one you see is a Type BB ploughing engine built at Leeds in 1917. Works number 14375. It's 16 nominal horsepower, and it's one of a pair that went new to wards of Carrington in Lincolnshire.